Hi, I'm Alyson Noël, the author of the Immortal series, featuring long-lost soulmates, mystical dimensions, mystery, and romance. When I first got the idea for the story, I wanted to explore, a story about a girl who had lost her entire family. So she's dealing with grief and survivor's guilt and all of those things. But the other themes that I wanted to explore, mortality and immortality and all that, I knew it would best be explored in a paranormal style, bringing in a lot of supernatural elements and mystical dimensions and things like that. And I'd always been a big fan of paranormal books. As a child, Casper the Friendly Ghost was my favorite cartoon. And, so in a way, it was just sort of natural that I would write a book like that, because that's the sort of thing that I really enjoy reading. I knew I wanted to write about grief. I knew I wanted to write about the questions of the soul's journey, and Ever just sort of appeared. I knew I want this 16-year-old girl who appears to have everything on the surface. She's beautiful, she used to be popular, she used to have a nice middle-class family and live in a nice home, and she has all that stripped away from her. And so it was really her sort of story and her voice that first appeared to me. I knew I wanted a sort of symbol between Ever and Damon, her love interest. They've been together off and on for 400 years. The book contains themes of reincarnation. And so Damon has been immortal all of these years. He's been around for over 600 years. Ever has been transitioning in and out of different life cycles for 400 years, where they keep meeting and keep getting thwarted, and she comes back to him again. So I knew I wanted some sort of symbol between them that showed the love that they have for each other and the love that they've shared for all of these centuries. So I started looking on the internet. I thought a flower would be nice. Flowers are eternal. And so I started looking up flower meanings, and on a particular internet site I found that the red tulip meant undying love, and I thought it was just perfect. And I love tulips. I think they're just a really beautiful flower, so it fit perfectly. Most people think that death is the end of life, of good times, the end of, well, pretty much everything. But those people are wrong, dead wrong. And I should know. I died almost a year ago. I'm really excited about the Riley spinoff. When I was writing Evermore, I didn't expect to give her that big of a role. She was just going to be a pretty minor side character, but I had so much fun writing her. She just kept coming back. She just kept showing up again and again, and I kept giving her more bits to do. And towards the end, I was really reluctant to make her move on, basically because I'd had so much fun writing her, but I knew I had to do it for Ever's growth. She needed to sort of let her sister go away for a while. So when my publisher came with me to the idea to give Riley her own series, I just jumped at the chance. I mean, I didn't have to think twice. I said, yes, I would love to do that. Radiance is the first book in Riley's series, and it's really about her life in the afterlife. We left her at the end of Evermore, and she crossed the bridge to the other side, and she finds herself now in a place called the here and now, where you are here and there's no time. Time is always now. And she has to sort of navigate her way through this world, and she's anticipating an afterlife of cloud lounging and leisure, and little does she know that everyone has a job to do, and she's been assigned a job as a soul catcher. The weirdest part about dying is that nothing really changed. I mean, you'd expect a big change, right? Because dying, well, let's face it, it's pretty dramatic stuff. They write songs about it, books and screenplays too. Heck, it's even a major theme on Saturday morning cartoons. But the thing is, it's nothing like you see on TV. Nothing at all. The success of the Immortal series really took me by surprise. At the time, I was just writing Evermore, the first book in the series, and really I was just so driven to tell that particular story, which is what all writers do. We just write the stories that we're driven to tell. And you always have this sort of distant dream that it'll reach a really wide audience. but that's nothing you can control. You just hope for the best when you let your story loose into the world. So the fact that it's been embraced by so many readers has just been so pleasing and surprising and wonderful. I always wanted to be a writer, really. Well, first I wanted to be a princess and then a mermaid, but around age 12, I read my first Judy Blume book, and it really changed my life. I was a really avid reader, but Judy Blume's books were some of the first I'd read that I could relate to directly, and I knew that I wanted to do that someday as well.